What is 24, 23, 22 about?
24, 23, 22 is about two strangers that unknowingly are going to send each other's world off orbit beyond what they could ever anticipate their days to turn out like. And we have the pleasure of playing those two strangers, but I think it's such a fun insight into what can happen, and you don't know what's going to happen.
Cool.
To me, 24, 23, 22 is about collisions, it's about time, it's about not having enough time, and sometimes too much time. It's about sort of like the velocity of life that you can get very much stuck in a rut with, and kind of little impulse moments that change the way that goes, I think.
Tell us about your character, Ruth.
So my character is Fran, and she is a joyfully opinionated young lady who is also kind of a badass, and I don't think she gives herself enough credit for that. She is dealt a really bad hand of cards that all kind of stacks up on top of one another, and she is very much in a stage of her life where she feels like she can't catch a break. But aside from that, I think she is stronger than she realises, and she has that little twinkle in her eye, which is very fun to play with and see where that takes her.
So my character is Brendan. Brendan is a very eager young man. He's eager to please. He's desperate to get somewhere in life. He's very passionate. He loves to a really, really strong extent, but he's a character who I guess is stuck on a treadmill and he can't get off it, and he doesn't really know where he's going anymore. He's a character who feels invisible and sort of clings on to the last remnants of the people that ground him, and when he loses that, it all spirals out of control for him.
Tell us about this production and how you are telling this story that's a little bit different from your standard play.
So 24, 23, 22 is gig theatre. If you're not familiar with what gig theatre is, it's quite a loose term, but I guess in its simplest terms, it's theatre but in the style of a gig. It's live, it's impulsive, it's happening right in front of you, it changes every night. To me, gig theatre is a sort of art form where the music is almost like another character in the piece, and it sort of gives it a rhythm and an energy that you kind of don't get with other theatre, which is hugely exciting for us to be able to play with and enjoy.
Absolutely, and one of the joys of this story is in the way that it's written, and so I get to go from the beginning of my story to the end. However, Joe has the very interesting task of starting at the end of his story and working to the beginning, and so I think it's so exciting for the audience to find out right at the beginning what's going to happen in the end, but then they're having to piece together how he's going to get there, because when you hear the beginning of my story, you're like, well, how on earth is that going to happen? So I think that's part of the joy of the show. But we've had it described as Memento meets the last 5 years, and I don't think that could be a more accurate description of our show.
And you keep using the word palindromic as well, which is an interesting word for it, and this idea that somehow their stories are mirroring each other as they go through it, which I think is really cool.
So in the style of gig theatre, where everything is live, and we are mic'd up with handheld mics, which is super fun, because a lot of the time in theatre we're having to project their own voices, so it's nice to kind of have that little element, and all the music is live mixed on stage by a wonderful team, and that's super exciting for us, because that also means we don't know what's going to happen either, but yeah, it's a joy for us to be a part of that and to hear it building behind us, and the combination of the words and the music is what makes this.
Final question. Sum the show up in 3 words.
Electric.
Fast-paced.
Palindrome. There you go.